Hi, I'm Lisa Fitzgibbons, and I am the team leader for Lexington, Mothers Out Front, and I am co-leader with Booja Cookman for Concord, Mothers Out Front. And I am here today because my friend Rebecca Henderson invited me to her house party last February. Okay. So, why are you here? Why are we here collectively? We're here because we love our children and grandchildren, all our children, and want to protect them from the ravages of a warming climate. We're here because we believe the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, when they declare with over 95% certainty that our addiction to fossil fuels is contributing to the extraordinary rate in the rise of the Earth's temperature. We're here because we're troubled by the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events occurring globally. The droughts in California, Russia, and Syria, the fires and subsequent floods in Colorado and Australia, the typhoon in the Philippines, Superstorm Sandy in our own backyard. And we heed the scientists who carefully trace the thread of cause and effect back to a warming planet. We have watched with concern as millions of drought refugees have poured into overburdened cities in Syria to fuel social unrest and civil war. We'd like to think that that couldn't happen here in the United States, but history has taught us differently. In New Orleans with Katrina, we witnessed how quickly a natural disaster can fray the fabric of our lawful society. We want a better future than this for our kids. Some of us have been active for a long time, and some of us have recently crossed from concern to activism, but all of us feel the urgency. We understand that we have a window of opportunity to change the trajectory for the climate and for our kids' future, but only if we act now. We've raised the global temperature 0.8 degrees Celsius to date and seen 1/3 of the Arctic ice melt away. At the rate at which we are burning fossil fuels, we'll blow past the 2-degree threshold for a livable planet in 15 years. So we need to act, and act now. Although the challenge seems daunting, each of us can do something. We can start here today in Massachusetts to make the right energy choices for our kids. We can choose clean energy for our homes, and if enough of us commit, we'll boost the demand for renewables and support these fledgling businesses that will bring jobs and revenues to our state. Moreover, we'll signal to our politicians to invest in clean energy infrastructure and leave fossil fuels behind. We can weatherize our homes, drive more fuel-efficient cars, hybrids and electrics, ride in carpools, or take public transportation. We can eat less meat. We can vote for politicians who prioritize protecting our environment. With these individual actions, each of us takes responsibility for reducing his or her carbon footprint and commits to a safer future for our kids. But it's our collective action that will ensure our success. Mothers throwing house parties, sharing our stories, engaging one another, and using our networks to build political power. Mothers in our community teams, working together in schools and churches with local businesses and on town committees to bring clean energy, conservation, and efficiency to our entire community. Mothers, steadfast and resolute, asking, what if and why not, and refusing to accept not possible as an answer, because nothing short of our kids' safety is at stake. We mothers can stand arm in arm in solidarity to demand that our political leaders take action. We can start here today to persuade Governor Patrick and his successor to make the right energy choices for our state. We can use our collective power to make Massachusetts the first state in the nation to commit to meeting all new energy needs through renewables, conservation, and energy efficiency. How do we know that we can make a difference? Because we follow a tradition of women and mothers who've rallied to ensure that politicians do what's right. The movement for women's suffrage, with Lucy Stone organizing the women of Massachusetts to demand passage of the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote. The mothers of the Plaza de Mayo, bringing international pressure on the Argentine dictatorship to account for their missing children. The Four Mothers movement in Israel, that in 3 years' time helped shift public opinion against the war that Israel had been waging in Lebanon. And Mothers Against Drunk Driving, who have saved almost 300,000 lives since the movement's inception. Mothers Out Front joins this long tradition. Our goal is just and doable. How do we know it's doable? Because other countries are doing it. Denmark produces almost half of its electricity from wind and biomass. They aim to get 50% from wind alone by 2021. Iceland taps the geothermal potential of its volcanoes to generate electricity to heat its homes. Spain and Portugal garner up to a quarter of their electricity production from renewables. And Germany, which gets less annual sunlight than Massachusetts, is the world's largest generator of solar power. The technologies exist. We need to demand them and adopt them for the sake of our children and their children. So we have our goal. We know that it's doable. And we know there is much we, as mothers, can do. The question remains, will we? We have a choice. We can accept the status quo and miss the opportunity to change the course of global warming, saddling our children with enormous challenges. And believe me, they will hold us responsible for our passivity. Or we can organize, coming together as a single, undeniable voice to demand that our leaders implement what the science calls for. Please join me. Please join Kelsey and Vanessa and the leadership team of Mothers Out Front. Please join your community teams to take action, to make our voices heard on behalf of our children, to do everything in our power to see that they have a bright future, a future of hope and possibility that they deserve. Let's start today by marching to the State House.